I get to do stuff that's cooler than Han Solo. I mean, the fact that it's real, it's better.
We followed along the Artemis mission, as did a lot of humanity over the past 2 weeks. You made us all have a reason to look up to the sky and kind of remind ourselves what it is to be human. I want to start off though with some technical stuff. So you're a pilot and you've flown a number of aircraft in your life. And during the Artemis II mission, you got to actually control the Orion spacecraft for a while. What was it like flying a spaceship? And at any point did you say, I am Han Solo?
Oh man, you know, I'm gonna just start at the back end of that. I get to do stuff that's cooler than Han Solo. I mean, the fact that it's real, it's better. And so I feel like, Han Solo wants to be me when he grows up. I don't know, that may sound egotistical, but it's real, so it's better. And the Orion Integrity flew, it was just responsive. It was the integrated system. All of the little things that were just a little better. The control, the springs in the hand controller. There was less dead banding, less free play in the controller. The place I was holding my hand wasn't something wiggly that I could just hold on to it as I clip my boots in. The fact that I could put my spacesuit boots on and clip them in and feel stable. And then the camera that we were looking at, the ICPS, the upper stage through, the simulator is a grainy picture that moves very slowly. You can tell there's an update or a refresh rate. The real camera just seemed to be like looking out a window. There was so much detail. As soon as I would hit the thruster to go toward it, I could tell we were moving in toward it. And so that integrated system, which is a part of how we test, we wanted to test certain things, but really we wanted to know, how does Orion fly? And it was such a treat and a joy. It was a test pilot's dream to fly a new spaceship for the first time by hand, and to say that, hey, the software modeling that we're doing works. That's what verification and validation is. We proved that what they thought was very close, and in fact, better.
I love it. And during your time in space, what were some of the moments that made you feel the most human?
Going to sleep, just lights out. We all had to go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. Or even if we woke up, we didn't turn on the lights until the wake up time came. And the first couple of nights, I would wake up and go, "Where am I?" And I slept really close to an air conditioning vent, and so I'd wake up and I'd just see this big hunk of metal. And when I leaned back, my feet would pitch up, and it's like, instead of being in a bed where you can kind of roll around and the bed might move a little bit, pitching your head back makes my feet rotate way up, and it was like, oh, I'm in space, I am weightless. And going to sleep, sort of imagine a camp, where you're in a bunkhouse, bunk beds, and it's like, all right, lights out, and you've got all your bunks and all the kids are talking, and the counselors come around and say, okay guys, it's time to go to sleep, we got a big day tomorrow. That's actually what it felt like. And that little kind of familiarity, but doing it 100, 200,000 miles from Earth, it just was hey, we are up here doing the basic things. You got to eat, you got to sleep, use the bathroom, and be rested to do it all again tomorrow. And so that every time we went to bed and every time we woke up, it was a small little bit of gratitude. Didn't have to stop and even acknowledge it, but just that really resonated with me. Is we're also humans. It's like camping, and this is a very important part of this journey.
Absolutely. And what's amazing about this mission is there's so much video and so much access to everything you guys were doing. And we can literally at points watch the mission on Netflix. And I mean this as I mean this as respectfully as fully as possible. It felt like a reality show a little bit, despite the historic side of it, the science. Did that ever hit you guys that this was a little bit like, how did you balance being an astronaut and doing the science part of it? But did you ever have to feel like you were a personality, or that you had all this stuff happening on Earth?
First of all, I want to say, go NASA comms, go NASA PAO. I'm glad that you felt that way. That is awesome. We need to share more. I worked for the government twice. I'm a naval officer and a NASA astronaut, so that's great. But I also applaud them on, it did not feel like a reality show. I knew they were on board. There were times people would say, hey, we're going to go on the camera. And I'm like, hey, I'm go you don't have to ask me. I'm good. I mean, there was a time where I'm like, doing my bathing after a workout. And I'm like, to me, you're asking about balance, but really it's not about balance. Balance requires this perfect period or the perfect distance to have a fulcrum and have something actually in balance. It's hard to strike a balance, is my point. In physics, but something that is all around us is integration. Bring it all together. Our spaceship is named Integrity because we love wholeness. The heat shield to the team, all of it, it's all whole. And for you to see the science and hear us describing the moon, and to see us flying the spaceship by hand, and to see bedtime and bath time and teeth brush time, that's what it's like. The mission was all of those things. And you just asked me about a human moment, bedtime. If I didn't have a good night's sleep, the next day was going to be rough, but every day was packed. And so for you to see an integrated view, I think that may be one of the really special things about this mission, is how much you were able to see. And I'm glad to hear that. It makes me feel good that you felt like you were there. It did not feel like a reality show on my end.
When you guys got to see the moon and you captured so many amazing photos of the moon, what does the photos lack? Like, what were you seeing with your eyes that you just won't show up in a photo, or the moment of seeing that moon, especially parts of it for the first time?
Patrick, great question. Depth, parallax. Listen, one of the things that was really cool, when you're on the space station, you know you're moving. You're going 17,000 miles an hour. It does not look like the view out the window of an airplane. You are booking across the ground. You notice it when you're trying to take pictures of targets on Earth. Well, we were really far from the Earth and really far from the moon, and we got really close to both. And so, but it was very clear we were moving. We were going so fast. I could see the shadow. The Terminator. People know I fell in love with the Terminator when I got to see the real one up close. I watched the Terminator go from a letter C to a letter D, which means I flew past. There was a point when the moon was half light, half dark. It was pointing right at me, actually from a C to an I to a D. But it showed depth. I could see the curvature of the moon. Depth is just one aspect that you cannot see in the pictures. But here's the other thing. The pictures lack scale. And when you put scale and the three-dimensionality together, it's just overload. There's so much in each of those pictures that the pictures don't really capture it. I hope while you were looking at those pictures and the shots from the external, cameras, we had cameras on the solar arrays, cameras inside, we took stills and videos, that you also maybe go back and watch it again and listen to the picture we're trying to paint with words, because I think that also highlights what some of those moments felt like. There's a lot more than the pictures.
When we burned this burn towards the moon, I said that we do not leave Earth, but we choose it. And that is true. We will explore, we will build ships, we will visit again. We will construct science outposts, we will drive rovers, we will do radio astronomy, we will found companies, we will bolster industry, we will inspire. But ultimately, we will always choose Earth. We will always choose each other.